Hey everyone, my name's Amy, and this is my coming out story as a trans person. Now, for those of you that don't know, I identify as a trans female, and my preferred pronouns are her, she, and things of that nature. Just to clarify. Anyway, um, when I was around 18 years old, I was just fascinated about the idea of change. Like anything changing, like tattoos and piercings, hair coloring, body modifications. And then I went to plastic surgery and I was fascinated with that. And then I stumbled upon people that were trans that were born men but then became beautiful women, which I thought it was astonishing. So but I kept it basically to myself. The only thing was I have to disclose that I was not masculine in any way, shape, or form. I was big in high school. You would think I would be like a basketball player or something like that, but I did not want anything to do with sports. I didn't want anything to do with like getting sweaty, hence why I'm still fat. And yeah. When I came out as trans, the first person I told was my mother. And I was online, I'm doing all this research, and I found out like a website I can get hormones, I could start hormone therapy, and like I was still very like baby faced. Like I still kind of look the same like I do now. I'll insert pictures sometime in the video to show like how I look like. I mean, I don't have pictures when I was 18, but I do have pictures of when I was younger. Face is still the same, just everything else kind of changed. um, yeah. So I told my mom, I'm like, hey, I think I want to transition. And my mother goes, great. You can transition if you want. You just can't do it in my house. My heart was broken. I was like, I thought this was a safe place for me to be in. I thought that, I could possibly, live my life and just whatever, but I couldn't. So I basically lived a double life after high school, after losing a lot of my friends, because I told them that I also wanted to transition as well, and I'm not 100% sure if that was the main reason why they stopped talking to me, because I wasn't necessarily an angel in high school, but I never got, closure about why they wanted to stop being friends with me. But in any event, I began to cross-dress, and during the nighttime, I lived in Jackson Heights, which is like at the time, was the third gayest city in New York, and they had like a big gay scene out there, and there was a lot of trans people out there. So me and my gay friends that I no longer speak to anymore, would just get up and cross-dress, and I would just take it very, very, very seriously. And they're like, oh girl, like this is like, we're all dudes, like this is just a joke, whatever. But the thing was, like, when I used to cross dress and I used to go out, even once in a while, go out like during the daytime and just see if people recognize me or see if people would treat me differently or anything like that, whatever. And it was the opposite. Like, they would be very nice to me. So, yeah. And, so I was doing that for a while, and then my mom eventually caught me cross-dressing. She was a bigger woman like when I was a child, so I was taking a lot of her old clothes that she didn't throw out yet, and I was using them to go outside in public. And she just like wasn't having it. Like, she wasn't like beating me or anything like that, whatever, but my mom would just, she was concerned for my safety, and she already thought like, I have a lot of strikes against me in this world, and she didn't want me to have an additional strike of me being trans and making my life a whole lot harder. And I'm not saying transitioning made my life easier or harder, or I regret it or I not regret it. This is who I am. When you're trans, it's just, this is who you are. This is just who you are. If this is what your heart tells you to do, follow it. Like, for those of people on YouTube that are a lot younger that are having a hard time maybe coming out or finding resources or feeling like there's nobody, there's nothing. If you're a person in a small town or a big city, we all go through the same struggles. And maybe it's not the same exact thing because people have better resources and stuff like that, but it's not impossible. And there's resources out there, and if your school doesn't understand, your trans status, or your friends don't understand your trans status, or people that you hold very dear to your heart don't understand your trans status, they don't really love you for who you are. Because if they did, they would accept it. And it took me a long time to find people that can accept me for who I was. I'm still in the process of doing that. So, going back to my coming out story. So, after high school, met this guy and basically ran away with him to live with him and his family. Was in an incredibly abusive relationship for 3 years. And the reason why I stayed with him was because I didn't think that I would be able to live my authentic self anywhere else. So I just took it as, not every day is going to be, a beautiful day. Like, with the sun comes the rain. So I just took the abuse as, this is what you kind of have to pay for if you want this lifestyle, whatever, which is not how anything should work. If someone is forcing you or you're in a fucking abusive relationship, get the fuck out of that thing. Just because you're trans or anything else, this person is belittling you. Just don't. I've been there. I was hospitalized because of it. Just don't. Just get out while you can. So, after a year of me and my mother not speaking to each other, I came to her house. Before that, she had found my number. And I spoke to her over the phone. I didn't really say that I started transitioning. I just told her, hey, I look a lot different now. And, I hope that's gonna be okay if I come over. She was like, oh, I love you, you're my child, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Cicadas. And, I saw my mom and she gave me a hug, and, everyone in my family wasn't surprised that I transitioned. They just, it went against the grain with the rest of my family being, religious, Hispanic, predominantly male, and I was my mom's firstborn, and I guess they had high expectations of me, and I just followed my own path because I just wanted to be happy. And you guys out there, if you're watching this video, please find your happiness. If you're unhappy at home, if you're unhappy in school, if you're unhappy in a situation, there's resources out there, and I'll list them down below just in case, you need some help or some guidance. But, my trans experience hasn't been the best, but it made me who I was, and I wouldn't take it back for anything else. And for those of you who are struggling with your trans status, find resources, find a therapist that's going to understand you, and find a place where you can feel comfortable and explore these options, and don't give up, and please, please, please don't hurt yourself. You guys are all beautiful people, and you deserve the maximum amount of happiness possible. So, just wanted to come with that. Thank you so much for watching. It was kind of ranty, but it's coming from a good place, and I hope you guys have a great day. So, peace and love. Bye.